acquire landed properties or housing with the aim of the management, changing chairman, the board, the appointment of the board of advisors as well. There's also a follow-up meeting to the annual EGM that we had in February, where we discussed with our new chairman, Sir Michael Kiro. We discussed with the founder, and then we can pick up from there. Okay, so I believe we can now see my screen, and I'll just quickly do a very short recap on what we discussed in our AGM in February, and then we can move forward to the next steps of conversation. So we're discussing on, so this AGM was held on the 26th of February, which was just at the end of February, which is just a few days after a month ago, where we discussed the strategic transformation and growth roadmap of GCooperative. And the mission of GCooperative basically is to democratize real estate investment ownership, making asset-backed wealth accessible to everybody. The goal of GCooperative is, what we set out to do is to build a global cooperative institution whereby people can pool funds together to get landed properties, to get housing projects. Our previous model was focusing on the fact that you can invest some amount of money and get return on investment. But as we have rebranded over the past few months, we have changed from GVest Investments into GCooperative Nigeria. In our last meeting, we also discussed the change of management structure. Dr. Stephen has exited as the chairman of GTEX Holdings, and Sir Michael Kiro is a new chairman. We also have me, that Mr. Farouk, MD of GVES, Mr. Toyo is the general manager. We have our president of GVES, Mr. Olaniran Ismail Jimo. We also have our vice president, Mrs. Olufunke. We also have our secretary, Mr. Rashid. We also have Mr. Musliu Ajibola. We also have Mr. Shola Sofade. These are our board of advisors. So their role is, for every conversation that we need to have, any solicitation, they are in between the investors, which is you, and the management of GTEX. The role of every board advisor is to ensure that GBS is being run in a proper way moving forward. We use the funds that we have in the best way forward. Also to solicit and discuss with every one of us regarding on how we can move forward, how we can represent. So if you're having any concerns and you cannot reach me, you cannot reach Mr. Tony, you can reach out to our president, which is Mr. Olaniran Ismail Jimo as well. This is just showing the organogram of the board advisory officials as well in GCooperative. So we had a review in 2025, and I'll use this basically to address some of the concerns we have at the moment. So as at December, a team member of GVest sent, so basically how we send emails is to everybody individually. We also have a news software Zoho that broadcasts emails. But we had an employee that unfortunately copied a lot of investors together and sent out notice for our AGM, which was the change of the chairman to Sir Michael Kiro. So Dr. Stephen has exited the company as the chairman, and he has focused on his own business adventure called Sasi Holdings. And Sasi Holdings is a private equity firm that focuses on investing in other businesses with other, again, he has his own legal structure, he has his own board, he has his own chairman that serves officially, but he has exited GTEX Holdings. So GTEX Holdings focuses on landed properties, housing projects, and investment in this project. So he has handed over that mantle to Sir Michael Kiro and put in some certain MDs that are in charge of running different kind of businesses. So previously we had our GTEX land, we had our GTEX homes, where GVS puts his funds into acquiring of land and building of houses. So in 2025, we did a little auditing what we have in terms of receivables and realized we have about 2 billion tied in terms of receivables from people that have promised to buy land or houses from us. So the reason why I'm saying promise is that, so in some cases, some people can say, I want to buy a property of, let's say, 10 million naira. I make a deposit of, let's say, 2 million naira. I'll spread the balance in 6 months, right? In our books, we have sold that land. So the goal is that as we receive that 10 million, we're able to pay a return on investment of, let's say, 2 million, return on investment of, let's say, 500,000, return on investment of, let's say, 5 million, 10 million naira. The more land that we're able to sell, the better for us to pay back return on investment. So we did an audit in 2025. We realized we have about 2 billion naira outstanding in terms of receivables to clients, by clients and investors that have purchased or promised to buy land from us. So what does this mean? This also means that the way we have projected income to have come in 2025 has dwindled down. For that, we're able to pay about 270 million to investors in the year 2025. But 270 million seems like a lot of money. But looking at how much we are still owing some investors, we still have about 200 million outstanding that have not been paid in terms of return on investment, in terms of capital. Some of them started from 2024, where we have decided that, okay, because of the economic climate, because of the high cost of inflation, cost of building has been quite increased, cost of land acquisition, the buying purchasing power of Nigerians have reduced drastically. In that case, we are not able to project as much income that's supposed to come in. So the way the model is that as we sell land, we're able to pay back return on investment in terms of ROI and capital repayments. But in 2025 made us know that we're in trouble because of the amount of money that we have outside. So what this also means is that we start having pressure of liquidity. So the company makes X amount, their operational costs. We still have to pay for some land, we still have to pay for some things, we still have to pay investors. We have some clients, because of the fact that there's an economic pressure on them, they are also seeking refund. I bought my land 3 years ago. I bought my land 2 years ago. I want my money back. That pressure on the company in our books is sounding like a sale. It's sounding like we have made money. But because people are asking for their money back, it now becomes a loss. Because, of course, we have taken some money for administrative charge. We've paid salary. We've paid this. We've paid security. We've done fencing. People asking for their money back now means that we're now losing on that certain amount. So our 2025 review showed that we paid over 270 million last year in terms of ROI. Some people were done paying their ROI. Some people have paid part of them. Some people have paid part of their capital. Some people, they are done paying their capital. Another concern we also had in 2025 was because many people invested between the year 2021 and 2023, a lot of people's capital were due in 2024. A lot of people's capital were due in 2025. And that's why GVS has been struggling a bit with paying back return on investment. It started towards the tail end of 2024. We're able to pay some people, put some people on installment plan. But as of 2025, the pressure increased. And bringing forward to 2026, we have an outstanding of about 250 million if you have added what we should have paid in January, February, and March. So this is just a financial overview of what the receivables is supposed to be, of what was paid, and what was also outstanding in terms of millions. So the key lessons we also learned was that ROI heavy model creates a liquidity strain, right? Because client default cycles affect consistency, we want to focus on a model whereby every member of us make money from GVest without having to get return on investment through equity-backed investments. Okay, sorry about that. So we're focusing on ROI heavy models that focuses on liquidity strains. So because of the high demand of return on investment and the lower, the company is not making a lot of money because there's a lot of money outside, people's purchasing power have reduced, there's high cost of inflation, we are focusing on the fact that how can we ensure that every member of us gets asset-backed investments rather than focus on ROI. So the current model of GVest is that as you invest in GVest, you invest 20 million, you invest 10 million, that amount is tied into a property that has been gotten, which means every investor has a backup in terms of property. So as GVest is unable to pay your returns, you can request for land in equivalent. And what GVest also did, according to the contract that is being shared to everybody, we're not going to give you a property worth your investment. We're going to give you a property worth 1.25 of your investment, which is 25% extra the value of what we owe you. So, for example, someone invests, let's say, 40 million naira, for example. Let's say in 5 years, you have to get, let's say, 20% every year. 20% of that is about 8 million naira. So in 5 years, a typical investor has made the 40 million naira back. Now, at the end of 5 years, you've not gotten ROI, you've not gotten capital. Your ROI is 40 million, your capital is 40 million. The total investment you have with us is 80 million. If you want to get a land asset from us, we're not going to give you a property worth 80 million. We are going to give you a property worth 100 million naira, because we are giving you a property that is worth 25% extra of the investment that you have had. Does that make sense? So that is this model that is currently working with GVest. It's currently in everyone's agreement. You can request to get land, you can request to get houses as you speak. But we have learned from this that let's focus on the fact that people can come together and buy a land. People can come together and buy a house. You can come together, buy a house, put the house up for rent, and get return on investment for life. And of course, you can also sell that house in the future and get your own share. And that moves us to our strategic shift. So we move from ROI based into equity-backed investments, rental income participation, and capital appreciation model. We've also moved from GVest into GCooperative, and we're now operating in Lagos. We're operating there, registered now in Ibadan. We're also registered now in Abeokuta as different GCooperative entities as well. We're also focusing on using technology to be backed. We already have that in place. We currently have a GVest app that a lot of members are currently enrolled on. We're improving this system just to ensure there's more transparency and you can track your asset-based investments as well. So the fractional ownership model I'm discussing about is that how can people come together and own houses? As much as we're investing money to pay bills, investing money to beat the current inflation gap in Nigeria, right? So that the value of your savings is increasing as time increases. We can also participate in what we call fractional ownership model. What this means is that 5 people, 6 people, 10 people can come together and purchase a house. And as the house appreciates, the value of your own shares appreciates in the house. Not only that, as you get rental income in that home, you all are sharing rental income. And we have a flagship project in Ibejuleki. We launched our 1,000 housing project in January. We already have a few units already available, where we're now selling 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom apartments. And of course, there is a calculation for this that is going to be back. So it means that we are foreseeing a minimum of 10 to 26% capital appreciation every year, which means if you buy a unit in these locations, in about a year, you can get as high as 26% and as low as 10%, depending on what the market looks like in capital appreciation. What capital appreciation means is that if a house is worth 200 million now, in a year, it's going to be worth 220 million. In 2 years, it's going to be worth 240 million. In 3 years, it's going to be worth 260 million. Not only are you getting capital appreciation, you're also getting a rental income of about 6 to 8%. So totally, you're working on, because it's compounding every year. A typical investment should have given you, let's say, 80% in 5 years. But with this model, you're able to make at least 150 to 180% in 5 years. And you can decide to exit, maybe sell out your shares, or you can buy more units. So these are the platform that GVest is now creating for people, whereby you can convert your current ROI into fractional ownership. So some of our priorities in 2026 is to recover some of our receivables, and that's why we had meetings with some of you that were defaulted on. So we gave an option of three different options, two different options basically. The first option was to, no, three options, I apologize. The first option was to convert your current ROI, current investment, into a landed properties in our discount offer. So we're able to give at least 50% discount. We're using some of our properties in Abuja, some of our properties in Lagos, some of our properties in Ogun State as well. You can purchase that and convert, right? That's one option. The second option is to be a part of our fractional ownership scheme, whereby you are coming together with some other investors to buy a house. The third option was now those that now insist on saying, I want my money back. Because we have to recover at least 40 to 50% of our receivables to be able to raise some enough money to pay, or we need to sell one of the units that we have, we are asked for an extended period of time, which you've placed people on a payment plan. Some people are on a payment plan of 6 months, some are on a payment plan of 7 months, some are on a payment plan of 3 months, depending on the amounts that we already have. We also want to acquire some other properties as well. As we sell more properties, we hope we're able to raise some other funds and acquire more properties as soon as the pressure reduces. We also want to start construction on some of the lands that are being owned by the cooperative. The cooperative has some lands that were given by the company in Abeokuta already. We already have some land already in Kwakwalada as well, and we'll keep expanding and expanding and expanding. This just shows the strategic timeline in terms of what we want to do in Q1, Q2, and Q3. This shows the growth of the next 3 years. 2026 is a year where we want to stabilize, where we want to pay all our ROIs, where we want to refund a lot of people. 2027, we're focusing on scaling. By 2028, we're focusing on global expansion. Of course, we want to increase our membership to about 200,000 across cross-border by 2028 and become Africa's leading cooperative platform by the year 2028. So as we close, a little brief of what I'm talking about is the fact that we want to move from promising returns into owned assets. We want to move into being developers, also being a global cooperative institution. So my conversation with every one of you members, which I really appreciate for you being here, and I respect every one of us, is to give us a bit more time. Reasons why we're having delays is not because we're making money and we decided not to pay you. No. The concerns we're having is that we are not making as much money as we are projected to make. Over the past 6 months, our sales has gone really, really down, and I'll be as vulnerable as I can. We've had to restructure. We had to downsize. Some of us have had to even not even gotten full salary for a couple of months just to ensure that we're aiding this institution, because what we're building is something quite solid and everybody is being affected. We reduce our staff strength by over 60% just to ensure there's more productivity, more leniency, so that we're not spending so much on operations. We've even had to move our office from Omole to our site just to focus that construction is moving as fast as it can. We're currently moved our head office to our Jasper Estate, Free Trade Zone, Ibejuleki. Because of the coastal road, you can all visit. It's just basically from VI, because I drive it most times, from VI, that's Eco Hotel, that's Kuramo Beach, down to the office will take you 1 hour, 10 minutes. As we speak, 1 hour, 10 minutes. If you are someone that drives very fast, it take you way lesser than that. So the office is now quite accessible. From VI, it's just 1 hour, 10 minutes. And then you can visit us anytime. We can have conversations. You can look at some of our construction that we have in Lagos. You can look at some of the land that you may be interested in as at that. The second plea I also have for everyone is for us to be able to get this to move faster, for us to be able to recoup some of these funds. I would love us to put in some referrals regarding the landed properties. So what am I saying? Where the money has gone into is into landed assets. The land is there. In some cases, the houses is there. The land is not going anywhere. We've taken possession. For some of the land, we already have offices on it. For the one in Peru, there's an office there. The Jasper in Vejleki, there's an office there. The one in Abuja, there's an office there. Not only is there an office, people actually stay there. So there's no land encroachment. For the one in Abeokuta as well. For the one in Ekpe, there's an office there. People are living there. People are working from there. So we can sell as much as possible, make enough money, and pay back. The current liabilities that we have in the whole of GVS, and I'm saying people that are being owed, maybe they've not gotten full payment or part payment, is barely 250 million naira. We're just selling about 50 to 100 plots. We're out of this. We're out for this. 2 weeks ago, no, last week at the end of March, we sent an email to everybody. We sent 2 different emails. Number one, to all investors, addressing some of the concerns that we already have. To those that were owing, we asked for an additional 2 months extension just to make some more money. And I apologize if we have been giving some extension and not been meeting up to demands. But our plan is that we are currently running an 8-week anniversary campaign. GTEX is turning 18 by the end of May, and then we're inviting all investors, everyone that have bought land from us, done investment from us, done any business with us, to our event in May 31st at Eco Hotel. And our goal is that the next 8 weeks is going to use as a countdown to sell as much properties as possible. We currently have discounts in 8 of our estates, which we are launching every week. So we currently have one in Kwakwalada as we speak. Next week, we're selling in Kuje as well. After that, we have in Epe, we have in Abeokuta, we also have in Ibadan, we also have in Ikorodu, about 8 different properties, where as investors, as clients, you can also refer and get as high as 10% commission. And of course, this also helps the group company to be able to make more money and pay back return on investments and pay back capital. So I'm pleading and I'm apologizing for any delays that must have been done. It has not been done because of we're ignoring you. It has not been done because we do not want to honor some of our commitments. It's due to some economic climates that we cannot control. We've had some investors that say they want to also pull out, and it's fine. Some are even willing to even say, I'm taking a 30% cut because I'm pulling out. For me, it's not my joy to ensure someone puts in money into an organization to make some money back and is making a loss. No. What I'm pleading for is just a bit more time. A bit more time. There are some people who've been paying some money since last year, and we did not start paying since November. Since November to now, we have barely paid any return on investment because of the cash flow has been very, very strained. There are some that should be getting their payments at the end of April. We need to make more money to be able to pay them. We defaulted on some in March. We don't want to default in April. We don't want to default in May. People are on payment plan from April to December. We have people that are not even due at all. Our goal is that in the next 6 to 9 months, we've come out of this mess that we're in, so we're able to pay back, and then we can get back into business as usual. So that's my short presentation. I'd like to take some feedback, some questions, and address any concern that we have so far from anyone that we have on this meeting. Thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Tony, do you have anybody with questions? Please, you can use the Q&A box to type in your questions, and I can also give you permission to also speak.
So I've currently checked the Q&A section. There's none for now. However, we would actually appreciate if you can send in your concerns, just as Mr. Farouk have said. So this meeting is to enable us to answer most of your concerns, and anyone that is aggrieved, we can actually from here attend to you. Just as in trying to make emphasis on what he said earlier about one of our team member as in sending out bulk mails to investors, and some persons not properly being copied. So I know some persons actually have concerns about this, and would appreciate if anyone who have questions, concerns, either maybe when your investment wants to be paid, or or maybe when your investment will be due. Anyone that has concerns, we are very much available to attend to you. So please do well to drop your questions on the Q&A section. It will excite us to attend to you here live direct, so that it's not in a situation where possibly you called or maybe you sent an email and we're yet to respond to it. But here we get to talk to you immediately. So nobody ignores you, nobody skips your mail or maybe skips your calls. So it's very, very important that you send in your questions so we can be able to attend to you. Thank you.
Okay, we have Mr. Bola Benga. His hand is up. So, sir, you can unmute yours. Okay, please. And I can't. So, please, can you see? Can you give him permission to speak from your end? Unfortunately, I can't. Mr. Bola Benga not giving me option to give you permission to speak. I don't know why. I can do that for everybody else, but Mr. Bola Benga, your hand is up, but I can't bring you up. I can bring other people, but I don't know why it's not bringing option for you. Perhaps this device you're joining in maybe doesn't have like a microphone attached, or you can type on the Q&A section so that I can read out and address it. Sir. Okay. All right. So why we wait for any feedback from anybody? We want to work with every investor here to please, if we can do some referrals regarding our landed properties, so that we can liquidate some of the assets that we currently have. That way, investments are not being owed. That way, we're able to pay people back faster. And again, that way you can also earn some extra amounts as a member. Remember, one of the reasons why we created this platform is so that people can make money for themselves using their capital. You can also use what we call social capital. So what we're also doing this 8th anniversary is to raise enough funds and also reward every one of us as clients. So I'll be sharing a concept that we have as we speak, just to increase, reward those that are selling for us, and also a way to reward every client that purchases. Can see hand up, Mr. Babatunde. Okay, so Mr. Babatunde, you can speak, sir. Just need to unmute yourself, Mr. Babatunde. Mr. Babatunde. Okay, your hands have been dropped.
Yes, Mr. Babatunde, we can hear you. You can talk, please. Can hear you. I think he was talking at some point.
Okay. If you can hear me, there's a structure that's been provided for payment of our capital, those that were due last year. Are we still on that page, or everything has changed that we need to get people to buy before we are paid? I just want to know if that structure is still on the staggered structure of payment for like 4 months. That's what I want to know. Is it still going to work, or there's a new structure on ground now? Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for that question. So the staggered structure still works. The goal of the staggered structure is just to reduce the financial burden we're having to pay every month, and also in a way that people should expect what is coming in. But the concern we're also having is so that we're able to meet up, we need to sell some units faster so as to know. The reason why we're having this is so that we don't have to default. So, for example, we sent some communications last week whereby we may have to give an extra 2 months for the month of April and the month of May, just to focus on raising enough funds and resume payment back in June. So previously we had anticipated that we'll start paying investors from February, March, April, down to the end of the year. But because of the concerns we're having, the pressure we're having, we were asking and pleading for an additional 2 months. So for example, if we're to pay you in 4 months, starting from, let's say, May, we may have to start paying you from July, August, September, and down to October. Now, what we are now saying is, in the next few weeks, if there's a huge inflow of money, so for example, what I'm saying is, if we're able to bring in as much as we need, we are even willing to pay people faster. Like I said, the current liabilities that we have as we speak is about 250 million. Just selling 10 acres, because an acre goes for about 21 million. Just selling 10 acres can take us to 210 million. Do you see the math side? We're able to even do just 10 acres in this month. We're able to pay at least 50% of the liabilities that we have, because we still have to do some other operations that we do. We're able to repeat that in next 1 month, in next 2 months. Maybe we even sell 20 acres, 30 acres, 40 acres. We're able to even pay everybody off even faster than we are projected. But so that we're not saying we'll pay you next week, we'll pay you next 2 weeks. We're now asking for an additional 2 weeks, 2 months, just to focus on pushing our offers in the next 8 weeks. So that's what this means, sir. I hope that answers your question. So these are some of the incentives that we have put in place just to, number one, encourage other marketers, other people to sell for us, and also encourage other clients to also buy from us. So we're in partnership with some of our partners, with Coscharis and with some other cars like Mikano as well, whereby they are able to give us an extended vendor financing for some of our cars as well. So we're able to run this campaign of the next 8 weeks to see every one of our clients that purchases minimum of 1 acre. And our goal is to sell about 1,800 plots, which is about 300 acres in this campaign. And of course, one client will now get a brand new SUV through a raffle draw. So every one of our clients that have ever bought 1 acre and above, regardless of the location, anything, we are going to do a raffle ticket draw to give them. Number one. Number two, we're also giving our highest selling associates. So associates are those that are not working with us or working under our payroll, but also refer people. So you can refer people to us, and being the highest referral for the next 8 weeks campaign, you're also going to get a highest SUV. But all these things are also with some terms and conditions if we're able to meet up our targets so that we don't run into loss as a company. So for example, if we barely sell 100 acres now, we only reward the associate that sells the highest and maybe the clients, but not our staff. Do you understand? but we have a staff that does exceptionally well. Our goal is to put in at least 1% to 2% of the total sales that comes in into giving rewards. So things like this are what also encourages, because as much as you're getting your 10% commission, we also want to reward those that are able to refer more people to us. So that is why we have come up with some of these incentives, some of this campaign, and this reward will be given at our anniversary by 31st of May 2026. It's happening at Eco Hotel. So what our goal to do in our next 8 weeks is to push as hard as we can, right? Get as much revenue and pay every single person that we are owing. That is my own goal. However, even if we are not able to pay everybody at once, we are able to at least keep up to the current payment plan commitments that we have made, because we believe that from this there's more interest. There are still other sales that will be done in the next 3 months, next 4 months. People on payment plan will keep up with them, and if we are able to even pay them off before the end of the payment plan, we are good to go. Because realize that these are just current liabilities that we have. We have some people that are due at the end of the year. We have some people. In fact, we are projecting by 2026. We did a review of all the total amounts that we've paid out. We've paid out. I think we've paid out about 850 million naira already in returns and in capital repayment already since inception of GVest. And then, of course, we still have people that their capital and their investments are already due, are not yet due. In fact, for many people that we have not also paid, many people have collected their ROI. Some have already made up to 120% on the capital that they've already dropped just to pay up their balance. But we're hoping that at the end of this, understanding that there's concern, there are delays, we understand these things are phases that businesses always have to pass through. And I'm totally apologizing on behalf of the management on being unable to meet up with this current demand that we have had. But we are focusing on, can we focus on bringing in the money and then paying people eventually? Yes, we agree, we admit we are owing, but our goal is to still pay back. Now, for those that are not interested in converting the current liabilities that we have to them into land and houses, we are willing to do that. We are willing to give them a land at extra 25% value of the amount they have, right? Like I explained before. So let's say you have investment of 8 million with us, we'll give you a land worth 10 million naira, and so on and so forth. So that's the my appeal to everybody. We'll be sending in some of these flyers or some of the offers that we have. For now, the lowest offers we have, you can buy land in Gwagwalada, you can buy land in Kuje, you can buy land in Abeokuta for as low as 3.5 million naira per plot if you are buying minimum of 6 plots. And if you are buying individual, it is about 5 million naira per plot. And of course, we are giving 10% commission if you are able to refer people to us. If you are buying directly, I'm also doing something that I did not extend to any other person. Because you're a cooperative member, we're willing to give you an extra 10% discount from what every other person is getting, because you're a current member of GVest. Okay, so I hope I was able to answer your question, sir, and answer any other prevailing questions. I don't know if anyone has anybody's hand is up. No one else. So I hope that answers your question.
I think Mr. Babatunde still has question. Then there's someone who's also here. Mrs. Shoide is also here. Also. Yeah, that's Mrs. Mata. That's Bibi Shoide is also here. So I think she has a question at the same time. I don't know, possibly if Mr. Babatunde's question has been answered in the course of you as an explaining, then we'll just go with Mrs. Shoide's question. So Mrs. Shoide, let me see if I can pull you up. Okay. So Mr. Babatunde, you can speak. I think I'm trying to give her permission to speak, but I think she has the same challenge with that of Mr. Benga. I don't know whether she's doing something there. But Mr. Babatunde was able to speak. Mr. Babatunde, you can
So
still go
I'm
on
saying,
with
please,
the question. If you
your hand is still up. You can say something, please.
Hello, Mrs. Shwende, but however, you can actually drop, a message or
I
your
think she's with
concern.
connection.
Okay.
She's connecting. Okay. So I'll say your hand is still up. I don't know if you want to say something. Please unmute yourself. So we can finalize this. So while we wait, I just want to show one of the offers we currently have. I don't know if people had seen that already. So this is the promo we're pushing as we speak in Gwagwalada Sapphire Estate, our 18th anniversary promo, where people. Hello? Hey. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. 18th anniversary promo, Sapphire Estate. So these are some of the offers that we have, and these properties are in good locations. We're also doing instant allocation. They can allocate and take possession in within 2 weeks of them purchasing. He has a C of O, it's a phase 3 zone 2. This is one of them. So we have about 8 different ones like this that we're going to also be sending in a couple of hours, and we'll send them via email to everyone that wants to refer. If you have people to refer as well, Mr. Tony is available, I'm available. We also have some of our team that are also available as well. I don't know if our president is on the call. I'd like him to say a few things. Solani, right there? This is BB Sean there. Unfortunately, I don't know why I cannot bring you up, but I'd love if you can just type your question in the Q&A section there. I think that will work better. Mr. Anthony, your hand is still up. If you want to say something, please say so. Okay. So I think that's all from me today. So if there's nothing else, I think you can wrap up. Okay, I've seen some questions. Thank you. Okay, so Mrs. Bimbi Shonde says that she had trouble joining early. She wants to understand what the payment plan is. That she has not been paid in a couple of months, about 18 months. And Mr. Akpana says, even though he came in late, we'd like to know how soon will be paid, when will be paid, whether 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or what's the timeline to be paid. Thank you so much. I think I addressed this earlier, but I'm just going to do a bit of recap into what I discussed. So I explained some of the difficulties that we're having from submission. I assume we are presently on probability on payments of our capital. Okay, so I'll answer these three with what I'm saying now, sir. So thank you so much for the feedback. So we're not working on probability. What I want us to ensure is certainty. So what I want to discuss with everyone is on what goes on behind the scenes and how these things basically work. So the way the model works is in such a way that when people invest some amount, it's being put into landed properties and gain of assets. Because what we focus on is in land banking. We buy properties in areas that are developing. And when we say your capital is with us for 3 years, your capital is already 5 years, the goal is that in those 3 years, in those 5 years, the value of that property must have multiplied to at least 100%, 150%. In turn, we give as much as 80%, 90%, and 100% in that period. Now, all these things are based on us being able to turn over that land, in us being able to sell out that land. Does that make sense? So the concern we're having, which I had said in my previous presentation, was that we currently had over 2 billion in terms of liabilities. People that have bought land but did not pay in full. So that is affecting our ability for us to pay back as soon as we can, as fast as we can. That's number one. Number two, we also work in terms of what we call financial projection. Because of what is going on X and X, we are projected that by this amount, we'll be making this amount of inflow, we'll be selling this amount of land to make money to pay people back. But as at 2024, we start having low dip in sales, even down to I can tell you with all transparency, in the past 12 months, last month was our worst month in the past 12 months. In terms of what people are able to buy, in terms of what is able to come in. And that has made it very difficult for us to pay people back. So what we've now done is we have been asking for more time. I understand a lot of people's money is there. It's sweat and blood. Some people took loans. Some people did bonds. Some people actually were supposed to put money in some other things. But because of the trust that they have for the organization, they put money with us. And we are sorry about that. We are apologizing for that. What we're asking for is a bit more time. Now, some people already have some payment plans, right? But as we looked at the current projection that we had, looking at how badly we did last month, we're having an 8-week sales campaign between now, August and the end of May, in anticipation of our 18th anniversary. The goal is to sell as high as 1,800 plots. That's our goal, our target. As soon as we're able to meet up with that target, there's high probability everybody is paid in full, or at least people are paid 50%. However, we have people that are currently on payment plan. Some people are on a 4-month payment spread, some people are on a 6 months payment spread, some people are on a 7 months payment spread, some people are on a 3 months payment spread. Now, if you don't currently have that kind of plan with us, Mr. Tony will just reach out and we'll discuss with you privately on what is your amount, what is due. If it is repayment of capital based on the projection, we're paying between May and July. We're paying between June and August based on what we have available. Some people have also agreed to convert some of these amounts into landed properties so they can hold and flip as they want. Some can say, I want to be part of your fractional ownership. I want to come together with like 10 other investors and buy a house and start sharing rental income and start sharing capital appreciation. So when this house moves from 200 million to 300 million in 3 years, I still own my own unit of the house and I'm still getting rent every year. That was the second option that people were also giving. Now, those are now said, okay, I still want my cash, but we asked for a bit more time. What we basically asked for was for 6 months. We in our AGM, in our meeting in December, we said we'll start paying by the end of July. But because of how things look like, we said, okay, can we even try and start paying some people in January, some people in February, some people in March? We tried it in January, tried it in February. We saw the liquidity strain is very, very telling on us, and it's almost difficult to honor. So we sent an email to say, give us another extra 2 months. By the end of June, right, we'll start paying people as we have intended to. So to understand, so just to explain the question to Mrs. Bibi Shonde, if we have not worked on the payment plan, we'll give you a payment plan for how much we are supposed to pay you. For Mr. Apana as well, depending on what we are supposed to pay you, we can work on a payment plan to know how much. but we are going to resume payments by the end of June. So, Mr. Babatunde, is not on probability. We're trying to work on certainty to ensure that we're able to honor what is commitments we have placed into paying back your return on investment. Mrs. Sunday says, how do you prioritize payments? She has been delayed for a long period of time. Okay, that's fantastic. I'll drop in my phone number. You can reach out, and then we can discuss on what is being due and how we can spread your payment. So it's always based on the volume. Volume also determines on how we spread payments as well. But of course, we're willing to work with everybody. We're willing to prioritize everybody, but also based on what is coming in as well. So I've sent my own direct line, so you can reach out to. Perhaps there's another line you're reaching out to, perhaps an office number, but you can reach out to me on that. So. Okay. I think all questions have been answered. Mr. Tony?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think all questions have been answered.
So Mr. Olaniran says that, I hope we've been able to talk to the client. Mr. Olaniran, are you there, sir? Okay, Mr. Olaniran says that, I hope we are able to reach out to clients that have been sending messages on social media. Okay, and this is why we're having this meeting. And I understand that a lot of people need to get their money. I understand what it is. But also it's in our best interest that the more negativity the company gets, the more difficult it is for us to make some money and pay our bills. And I'll cite an example. The reason why we even fell into this mess was from early last year as well, where the founder had an 18K saga, and that spiraled into a lot of things. In that, a lot of negativity also came into the company that affected our liquidity. Not only that, some of our contemporaries, some of our other colleagues faced huge backlash. We had, again, because we're in a closed community, we had, I think P1 faced their own. I think Revolution Post faced their own. I think Sujimoto also faced their own. We had about 4 to 5 different real estate companies that faced heavy backlash. And this affected the whole real estate industry generally. Trust has gone down. A lot of developers that we know personally are currently struggling. This is not something that is peculiar to us alone. But what we have been able to do is, and I can say it with all humility. Sorry, not with all humility. I can say this, yeah, with all humility, right? We are one of, as much as a lot of real estate companies are going through concerns, we are going to the lowest amount of difficulties, because we have, over the past few years, we've not beaten more than we can chew. Without seeing some people promise ridiculous returns, and currently they are also facing the backlash. But what I'm urging everyone is that for everyone that is going on social media, please, that does not do us any good, because the more negative PR that the company gets, the worse it is for the company to sell these land properties, the more difficult it is for us to pay everybody back. So I understand that there has been long delays. Some people have waited as much as 12 months, some 16, some 18. Some will be spreading their payments, right? Some people, it's just to get an extra 1 million left. Some people is 2 million left. Some people is 500K left. We've been doing little by little. But I urge you, and I plead with every one of us, we will settle this amount in the end. It may not be now, it may take 3 months, it may take 6 months, but every single cover will be paid. And every delay that has been done, you are also going to be paid for that delay. I hope that makes sense. So we currently have a structure that we're working on. As much as we're able to refer people to buy more land, the faster it takes us to also turn over some of this cash into paying back these returns as well. And I want to thank everyone that's taking time to be a part of this meeting. I want to plead with you. I want to thank you so much for giving us the chance to explain ourselves. Also for giving us, also be able to be patient with us as well. I know it is not easy as well, please. Okay. So Mrs. Funke says that we should also reach out to people before the due date as well. And then we'll be having a general inspection for those that also want to check out some of our properties. That will also be chaired by me and our president, Mr. Olarion, as well. So he says we should not forget to work out the dates as we intend to engage ourselves in aggressive marketing and sales of land as well. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Olaniran as well. So we'll be involving everyone with our general inspections, our locations, so that you can see these properties on its own, and perhaps some of this will also interest you. Not only that, you're able to also refer people to also come and buy these properties, because these are things that are owned by our cooperative, that own our cooperative, and is what our money is inside. So I want to thank you all for your feedback, for your comments. I think that's all that we have on our Q&A box from everybody. So, Mr. Tony, I think you can close us up now. Please, these videos will be sent to everybody, and then we'll also be sharing some of these conversations that we've had to everybody as well. Mr. Tony, are you there? Mr. Tony? Okay, I think we have lost him. Okay, so this is going to be a monthly meeting. We're going to review this by next month. So we'll be having another meeting. We'll be having it on the first week of the month. The first week of the month. So we'll be looking at the first weekend. Today is Monday, the 6th of April. What I'm recommending is that we put it at perhaps on the 2nd of May. We'll be having another meeting to discuss and to review based on what we have discussed. And I'm quite confident and I'm praying that by the end of this month, by next month, we'll be having good news of how many members were able to pay, how much we're able to pay, how much sales this meeting has been able to also bring. We're also having a quarterly review for our board of advisors, which is coming up on this Thursday, where we'll be discussing on what we are doing moving forward for GVest. And in our next meeting, we'll be sharing some of the good news that we're having, some of the benefits of every member here, and how that also becomes part of what we're doing moving forward. Finally, I want to thank everyone for being a part of this meeting. Thank you for this meeting was projected to be an hour, but it's just slightly over an hour. We look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you so much. At this point, I think this meeting is officially closed. Thank you.